Hey guys, welcome to another episode of View from the Cheap Seats, our look at the week in sports, a.k.a. the week in sports. And a lot of week stuff happened this week, but a lot of amazing stuff happened this week. It is an incredible time in the world of sports. We are going to dig deep into it with the guy who runs this company. He's a huge San Francisco 49ers fan. We are knee-deep in the world of NFL playoffs. Playoffs. And so we're going to talk to Al Madrigal about basically how he feels about the 49ers.
I mean he is such a diehard fan. He's in with the ownership.
He goes up to the games. He goes up to all the games. We get it. We understand.
I understand his love for that team, and I understand how deep it runs. And I texted him after they won, just a simple LFG, exclamation point. And he just wrote, "I'm getting too old for this shit." So he literally couldn't take it. Like, I understand when you love a team so much and your response after a win is exhaustion. He went through the ringer. So
he's basically Bill Self at this point.
Right.
And so anyway, I would say that the NFL right now is maybe the healthiest league of all.
Yeah, because you have some bona fide stars, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, and we'll certainly talk a little bit about that in a second. We'll talk about the Buffalo Bills as the most hapless professional sports. It's because I think it cuts to the core. Is it worse to get close or
is it worse to just not
to never even be close? So there's that, because we'll look at that through two lenses. Mm-hmm. You have Josh Allen. You have a great story with Detroit.
You had a home game. The problem is they're and I'll put it in a sports context that people can understand, because it's the Australian Open. I've been watching a ton of Australian Open right now. The Buffalo Bills are Andy Roddick, okay, without ever winning one. Roddick at least won a U.S. Open. I'm just saying, like, you're playing in the time of Djokovic and Federer and Nadal, and you are Andy Roddick in that outfit.
Yeah, like if the Bills came before Mahomes, then it was Tom Brady. So you don't know. You really.
Maybe, but I'm just saying
you have to rise above. This is where you almost can appreciate what the Bills did in the 90s of just getting to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
You understand what a big deal
But there
was.
wasn't the wild card in that way, and so you say to yourself, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same gauntlet that they had to
You
go
feel for them, and they were in a position to win the game outright.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it wasn't like they weren't in a position.
Although I watched that game, and I will tell you, like, you can feel just in terms of vibe.
But they had the ball at the 30.
But
they had the ball at the 30.
I'm just saying, if there was a heat sensor on that game,
I understand.
Even if they scored, yes, they should have scored. But like that Kansas City defense, who had several injuries, bowed up so tight that you're like, this is what Buffalo should be doing, but they couldn't do it.
No one can stop Mahomes. No one can stop Mahomes.
He runs like a teenage girl, and no one can stop him.
He's Steph Curry of football. But here's the thing. You think about what the Bills versus the Lions, okay? Lions culture. Lions have been so bad for so long. Detroit has just been so bad. Like
just a few years from the 0-16 year.
They are terrible. They are hapless. They are a disaster.
Terrible in every way. They draft terribly.
Yeah.
They always drafted in the first round a shiny outside guy who never panned out.
Right.
Never.
Instead of building from the inside out. And the owners were involved, and they're telling you what to do. I mean, that's the problem. You look at Dallas, and you're like, why can't they get over the hump? And you look at teams that are having trouble getting over the hump. The Arizona Cardinals of the world. The owners are involved too much. Like the owners, you have to back off, hire football people to make football decisions, to do football things.
Which is what the Fords did.
They backed out. They got you a general manager who's going to sit down and make good football decisions.
I mean, look at the guys they drafted this year. Sam Laporta, maybe one of the best tight ends in the entire league, and as a rookie, definitely one of the best tight ends ever to play. And he is
Jahmyr Gibbs this year.
Gibbs is this year. And the linebacker from Iowa, that guy who's amazing, who is playing. So all your guys that you drafted, and Brian Branch.
Cunningham, is that the guy from?
And Brian Branch.
Yeah.
As a safety, played and had like great sacks. And Aiden Hutchinson is just a second-year player or third-year player. He's young.
And then all those offensive linemen, Sewell, and they got Raganow in the middle. They got two great lines. They build from the lines out. You got Dan Campbell, who's just a crazy football dude.
And is there to
get them to buy in
a culture. He's not a young whiz kid offensive-minded guy. He is a guy to install a culture which can get you through tough games, can get you through when you're down in the third quarter and you say to yourself, we're not going to win this game. I mean, again, so he then gets guys on the field who portray his culture as a coach. And so you start to see that like he has his little foot soldiers out there who are basically bringing the culture to the game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, that dude, every single time he touched the ball and needed to get an extra couple of yards, he did.
Jared Goff was a cast-off. Jared Goff, everyone thought, well, the Rams got the best part of that deal. They got a Super Bowl quarterback.
Or he was in
Stafford.
a system that allowed him to. No, Jared Goff, time after time in this game and in the game before, made plays when he needed to,
where Josh Allen didn't.
Could not do it.
Where Josh Allen couldn't do it.
Who I would argue Josh Allen is a more talented quarterback than Jared Goff. He can move better. He
got a bigger arm.
Got a bigger arm. He can provide more. But like if you don't have the players.
So I'd rather be years and years of futility for Detroit. I'd rather be Detroit because right now
they're so happy.
So if Detroit loses to San Francisco, they'll be upset.
Sure.
There'll be people going like, what a bummer.
But they're a 7 or 8 point underdog right now. They got to go on the road. They've played their last 2 games at home.
They haven't won house money.
Right. They haven't won a playoff game in a long time, but they are like, we're going to give it to them. We're going to do what the Packers tried to do to it and almost did. Again, this to continue on the trend that the league is in good shape. Nobody thought the Packers were going to be good post Aaron Rodgers. And then look at Love. Jordan Love is actually playing. You're like, this guy's a legit quarterback.
Yeah.
He's legit. If I'm down in Tampa, even though Tampa lost, Tampa put up a fight, and I'm like, Baker Mayfield is your guy.
Yeah.
He is a great quarterback, and you will be good for a long period of time. And that doesn't even include Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence, these other guys who are great quarterbacks who didn't even make the playoffs.
Yep.
So to me, it's like it's a very exciting time in the NFL, and I am, as a guy who doesn't have a dog in the race, therefore I can enjoy it, although I am rooting for the Lions. But as a guy who doesn't have a dog in the race, I'm excited. I would take any matchup. Baltimore, San Francisco, unbelievable Super Bowl. Baltimore Lions, unbelievable Super Bowl. If it's Kansas City Lions, unbelievable Super Bowl. Kansas City, San Francisco, that's an unbelievable Super Bowl. As fans, we're going to be treated to a wonderful next couple of games.
This next round of the conference championships, NFC and AFC, you've got a great story with the Lions. You've got an opportunity for one of the great upsets and the great runs in NFL history.
If the 49ers make it, you have Mr. Irrelevant as their quarterback, which
so
tells
they're
you that
weirdly underdogs.
So now we're talking about the draft next year, like in the draft, and there are like a handful of quarterbacks, 4 to 6 quarterbacks.
Yeah, you could get the 6th quarterback, and who knows, that guy could be a starter and could be taking you to the Super Bowl.
Follow the Brock Purdy path.
On the other side, you have great defense on Mike McDonald's unbelievable Ravens defense. Can they stop Kansas City?
Right. And can Lamar Jackson, who had previously been very inept, but actually was amazing in this last game, can he be the difference maker in that game? And they got to go to Baltimore. You said, Patrick Mahomes can't do it because on the road he can't. He did it on the road. And can he now? Do they have the mojo? Because you say to yourself, I don't know if I want to play Kansas City. Kansas City, you look at, Scantling is, Valdez Scantling. He's now stepping up and he's going to be he actually will be the weapon that you think he was going to be. Rishi Rice will be the weapon that you thought he was going to be. And of course, Travis Kelce's unbelievable.
Edwards-Helaire.
Dude, these are going to be great games. I'm very excited. We're going to get into it with Al Madrigal on the other side of the break. It is a great time to be alive and be a football fan.
Unless you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Wide right again.
God damn.
Wide right again.
They'll be back.
Heartbreak.
This is what I would say to Buffalo Bills fans. You have a great core. You got great things. You don't have to do that much to get over the hump. You just got to
go to Duff's, go to Gabriel's Gate, get some wings, drown your sorrows in some fried drumsticks.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We are so happy to have this gentleman on. This is his house that we are inhabiting here, All Things Comedy. He is just one of the best comics we know and one of the biggest 49ers fans. We had him on the show, but to have you now on the precipice of potentially what the experts are saying, you guys are going to make it in the Super Bowl. You never know. You got to play the games. You never know what's going to happen. On the first place, someone could go down. You don't know. But you're feeling good leading into this weekend. Al Madrigal, how are you?
I feel great about this. We're talking about the
49ers, Detroit Lions, yeah.
And
I mean, if ever there was a better draw for you, I don't know that
it's
there
a quality
is.
draw. I think, when you look at what the Ravens have to go through and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs
do you
having
buy
to beat
this?
the Bills.
Do you buy the
Buffalo.
thing of like the NFL wants Taylor Swift, and so the NFL they're going to do everything they can to get Kansas City to make it close enough that
What
Kansas
about, have you seen on Instagram these logo conspiracies?
Yes, where they say the colors of the Super Bowl logo represent the colors of the two teams. So they're saying it's purple and red,
purple
so
and
it's
red.
going to be the Ravens and the 49ers.
And then the color that's least represented in that logo is always the winner. And in this case,
It's red.
The 49ers are the least represented color. So it goes heavy purple fade into red.
So
you
this
got
is if you
this.
believe that it's scripted and everything is
got
orchestrated.
this.
Yeah, you
Well,
got this.
I do not like in the NBA, if we can talk about NBA
Let's talk about it.
officiating.
Sure. Yeah, I mean-
and we can talk about NFL officiating. The spot, I know this has come up, and the spot has been controversial in games. It was controversial in the Green Bay Packer game. And why are we still relying on this system? We
It's the
have
worst system
air
ever.
tags now. I can find anything.
How about the camera on the wire up above? Like, just literally have that moment, zero in on the ball, say
Insane.
this is where it is, and there is, just like you have the official office in New York, there is a subset of that office that is a spot.
There's a fault where the ball goes out of a cyclops. You can put the cyclops down that you do in tennis. You can run that up and down the
It
field.
absolutely should.
All you'd have to do
Mm-hmm.
was put some sort of device
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't affect the trajectory of a ball. You could go out a million different times
In the ball.
in the ball.
And it's like a tile.
Sticker. It could be a sticker on the inside of the ball.
Or on the bottom
Something
ball.
exactly.
I
and
agree.
it just could hit that exact spot.
And then
you
that
measure
GPS location tells you exactly where it is.
exactly where it is.
See, I like
and
this.
we just eliminate this altogether.
I agree, because the spot is weird. Like, you'll see a guy go out and
There's
then
some bullshit spots on every fucking game, and there's also some bullshit PI calls
Yeah,
in every
of
single
course.
game. Didn't they have
holding
it for,
could be called on every play, by the way. Every
Absolutely.
play. And the PI is like, the PI could be called on a lot of plays too. There's a lot of hand fighting. It just depends on how. I'm more of the mindset of like, let them play. If it's egregious and a guy's pulling a guy back, you got to call it. Like if
Absolutely.
he's hindering from
If he hinders his motion, if he slows him down or changes the direction that a guy's going by the pull, then I think you got to call a flag. If he just has a handful of jersey and the guy's still moving in the direction he needs to go in, then you got to let it go.
And so, there's oftentimes there's the offense. The wide receiver is doing just as much hand fighting.
I know.
100%. Push
and,
off, the
and
push
pushing off, and they're both sort of grabbing at each other.
It
and it's
should
like
be like
it's-
low post in the NBA. Let him kind of jockey a little
like
bit.
a fight. The last guy caught
last-
grabbing.
that's right.
The
Yes,
last guy
gets
caught.
the whistle.
Did you see that play in the Green Bay game where the little cornerback goes up and taunts Trent Williams, and Trent Williams just touches somebody and they go flying.
Right.
Yeah.
But he sold that, and that's 15 yards.
I mean,
And-
that's a brilliant strategy, because
It's
you
a great
know
strategy.
it's a brilliant strategy. If you need
silverback.
yards, it's just a smart. All right, so let's talk about this Niners team, because, I mean, it is an amazing collection of talented go-to guys. Like, I don't know who was I watching that I was like, God, these guys have no. You're literally watching Buffalo, and I'm like, yes, Josh Allen is great, but they're like losing people left and right in terms of like skill position play. You look, yes, Deebo Samuel is hurt, but George Kittle can carry an entire game. Christian McCaffrey can carry, like, he can have just like
Correct,
a career game, and then you win the game.
McCaffrey can rush for 130 yards. Make 120 yards in reception.
Ayuk can be quiet all game and then make 3 insane catches on a drive like he kind of did last week.
Yeah,
And
we,
you're like,
we've been fortunate enough to have those yak bros, the yards after the catch brothers, and they.
which for Purdy is kind of what you need. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he knows how to get it there. And
But
then
he's
it's like,
able to improvise a lot, do very well. So we'll get into the Purdy knock.
Sure.
But going back, I think you just like sort of rewind the tape a little bit, and you think about why we struggled against Cleveland, why we struggled against Green Bay. It was like a rain element that Brock just, if I was a Niner coach in the offseason, the quarterback's coach, if I'm Brian Greasy, I would just put a ball in water and just have him just throw only
Practice
wet
throwing that.
footballs.
That's right.
Yeah. 'Cause
San
we know
Francisco.
we know he can throw the dry ones.
Yes.
got to throw a wet ball.
He got a little tiny hand.
Yeah.
He can't throw I guess.
Or give him a glove with like some grip on it, maybe.
Something,
but
make something work. There was one play and I'm not sure if you saw this, where he drops back, switches the ball into the other hand, wipes his hand,
Grabs it again.
grabs it again, and
Throws it.
Bananas. Who can do that? He's a very skilled guy. I just saw, because my Instagram, the algorithm knows that I love the 49ers.
Of course.
So I got
Yes.
video
Familiar.
from a high school sports thing that was showing him as a little kid throw it across a basketball court into the basket.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so he's always been this amazing athlete. And
But was a good quarterback at Iowa State. I would say
he was a great quarterback.
He
He set
was-
all of the records.
So what he was at Iowa State, from what I remembered, he
was a winner.
Yeah.
So I don't think a premium is placed enough on this. I think the NFL Combine, and because of the business that has become, and the business and the television ratings of the Combine, it takes us
What
away
are the
from
measurables?
How tall is he? What is his vertical? When have you needed to see a quarterback jump 42 inches?
Well, that's why
never.
when you take a look at Trey Lance, because he's the perfect example of that, who didn't have they're the exact opposites.
Yeah.
They literally are negatives of each other.
Trey Lance has
all
everything.
the intelligibles and
He's
all the
fast.
measurables, but not the
He's
intangibles.
got just a cannon
Yeah.
of an arm
Yeah.
that he's gonna. I feel like, and just to go off on this tangent for a little bit, I feel like that he's going to replace Dak
You think
in this
so?
contract year. I don't think they're going to be able to pay Dak if he chokes next year.
CeeDee Lamb's brother is like Dak sucks.
Mike,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you got
And that's-
relatives of people on the team that are tweeting out, "Get this guy out
That
of
must be CeeDee Lamb talking at
right
home.
through his
Tweet
brother.
this. Tweet this, brother.
Let me get your phone, bro.
So, also, I think Trey Lance. So, I think Mike McCarthy is going to get this last year because they didn't renew his contract, and I think Dak Prescott's going to get this last year because he's also up for a new contract.
he's not.
And why would you want to pay? Like, if you look at what Josh Allen makes,
Right.
and this is going to go back to that Yak brothers. I'll bring it all back. So, when you have somebody that's commanding that huge rate of pay, Josh Allen, what, $53 million? So much money to one player.
Gobbles up so much
It
contract.
kills your salary cap. So we think about what we get with Brock Purdy and why more teams don't sort of like. I think again you're going to see a lot of successful teams not want to overpay at that position. It is crucial, but you can't destroy your ability to add valuable players in the offense like what we have in these Yak brothers because. Again, Ayuk, I think last year they were running him a lot. And so they put him in a position to do sweeps and to run a lot of those plays
sweeps,
and they'll just throw the ball to Ayuk. So now I think what you're going to see in this game against the Lions is a team that is prepared for Debo to potentially be out.
That's right.
And you're going to see a dry football field.
Yep.
The 49ers on a
Is
lot
that the
of
weather this weekend?
It
I mean,
is.
You're going, okay,
And you will
guys.
be there.
I will be at the
Uh-huh.
game, screaming my ass off.
I'm ready for it.
Did you ever see the videos I made with Dan Soder and Tommy Johnigan?
Of just
and,
screaming,
Yeah.
like, no.
I scream on defense. First of all, I hear it in other teams, but like when your team is on offense, shut
Be
the
quiet.
fuck
Be quiet.
up.
It's
Everybody
like the
got-
Beyonce, everyone on mute. Don't
everybody
break
down.
it. Don't say. Don't yell. She's telling
Save
you to
it
be
for
quiet.
defense. Save it
She's
for defense.
telling you to be quiet.
If it's third down,
You got to be quiet.
fourth down. These
Yeah.
idiots, I mean, are yelling, and
I
I'm
know.
just looking at these guys. These guys are standing up in front of me, and I don't want to get in a fight.
No, you don't. But
But
the
I will
machete
yell.
is coming
Machete
out.
Machete inside of you. It's right on the hip.
I just like I go, you fucking idiots!
Yeah, shut up.
Shut
up and let the guy make the call. You're not helping him. It's
At
like
all. It's
it's
you're
like a
making
guy
it
at a
way
comedy
worse.
show who's talking.
Yes.
What?
I'm helping you out.
You can make fun of me.
I'm
I'll
helping
say
you.
something dumb.
Positive heckler.
Positive heckler. We don't
That's
need
what it
it.
is.
We don't
Giving
need
you a
it.
hand.
So I think you're going to see, and also a lot of the successful Green Bay plays that you saw last week,
Right.
slips. We slipped. Our defensive back slipped.
Yeah.
Pass interference puts them on the, and then we had this crazy run back, like a 70-yard
Yeah.
return. So I think there were a lot of fluke plays that they were very successful on. I think Detroit has a problem with defense. I think Detroit's great. They obviously got to the NFC Championship.
I think
love
Goff
the
is
story.
going to get that $50 million a year. I think he is. They're going to pay him.
Goff is going to get his shoulder separated on
You think so?
Sunday.
Oh,
yeah, he really is. I think.
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
they're going to crush him.
You think
I
so?
think they're going to get through.
Really,
and
that
they're gonna-
line? I think Detroit's. I think it's
going to be a great game.
I think it's gonna be a good game. But I think Detroit's offensive line is a strength for them, and I think Detroit's defense can't stop.
Their pass
Well,
defense.
that's what I'm
can't
wondering.
just
stop.
can't.
If
They
people
just
can
can't.
just keep up with us.
Right.
So I just don't think they can. I'm predicting in my mind, if I'm looking at the game and I'm really like saying, what does it head, not heart? What does it say? I think it's a 35-20 game. I think San Francisco just scores. They keep scoring.
But I think it's close till late.
yeah,
And
like
then
it might
they
be
blow it open.
28-20, and the Lions might have the ball.
Sure,
but
I gave somebody at work 10 points, and
I bet you win by 2 scores.
I just told somebody else I think we're going to win by more than 16 points.
possible.
You are
And
playing
I
at
would be
home.
Willing to place that bet. I got to talk to my son, who's on like
Who's the bookie?
He's the bookie.
He's your bookie.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Hey, he's a bookie.
Yeah, it's number 123. You guys watching that show at all?
I
It's not
haven't,
bad.
but-
No,
is
it's
it good?
Yeah, yeah.
I love him, man.
Hey, he's
I
great.
freaking love him. We've loved him since like the early days at the
Yeah.
Comedy Store when we were there.
12 a.m.
He gets up. There's 5 people in the crowd, and he's doing exactly what he's doing now. Has not
Exactly.
changed one bit. He's, it's so funny. Like you see him backstage, and he's a little beat up by the physicality of the stand-up that he did. Like he's got a back problems.
Oh, dude, I'm acting everything out. I got to stretch before I go on.
It's like when you take a bite of food early in the shooting of a scene, and you're like, shit, now I got
Why
to
did I do that? I got to do that
thing.
27 takes, even in the wide shot. Even when it's not my coverage, I got to eat this taco.
put
You
this
drop
time.
to your knees for a bit. It's like, oof.
That's
Yeah.
every time
we
you
had
do it.
on this Lopez versus Lopez show that I'm on, I had a bit early on where I waved off the stuntman.
You
Like,
waved him off
Because
I
you
got
thought
it.
you
They're
could do it.
calling
I
for
could
him.
do it.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
No.
Nope.
Let the stuntman
I
do
called
it.
him in. I did 2, and I go, hey, let's bring that guy in.
Bring him back out. You made the bullpen. All right, so you're feeling good, and I will say this: the Brock Purdy of it all can, in my opinion, in direct contrast to Aaron Rodgers on the New York Jets. If he would have been healthy this year, I think he makes that team better. It makes it a more interesting, AFC sort of battle over there. But in direct contrast, a lot of these guys who make your team great are, other than McCaffrey, who was brought over, but a lot of these
Offensive
guys.
Player of the Year, and NFL's Offensive Player of the Year.
But I'm saying a lot of them are homegrown guys.
Oh,
a lot of them are
that's-
guys you drafted. A lot of them are. This is a team that was built, not bought.
I actually made George Kittle's draft pick. That was when I got called up for that. So I announced. I looked.
Amazing.
They handed me a sheet of paper.
University of Iowa.
Yeah, number 5th round pick.
Dude,
so a lot of these
how
guys.
crazy is that?
Yeah.
Staple 5th round pick.
Kittle
Brock
and
Pur-
Laporta, 2 great tight ends out of Iowa.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean,
It
it's
really
tight
is
end.
incredible.
It is what it is.
I think that just the 49ers have been really good, and they've missed on a lot. Like they had Solomon Thomas was a pick for them in the first round. Then they picked Reuben Foster late in the first. Those guys both did not
This is
work
why
out.
I think you can respect Detroit too, because Detroit in this last draft, in the last 2 drafts, have been amazing. The last draft, they got Laporta and Branch and
Gibbs.
and the linebacker from Iowa. They've got like 4 guys that are contributing right now. That's what I kind of love about the league right now more than anything, is that it isn't unless you're a quarterback, although look at CJ Stroud. It's like he early in his career, this guy's making a difference. And so to me, it's interesting because you can have had a great college career and step in the right situation on the right team and be an impact player right away.
Do you both think that they, like, when you do draft, a guy like this, like, it's like the NBA and what we're up against with the Warriors. I feel like there needs to be some sort of cap consideration if they are your high, and that's what they're doing with the franchise.
Yeah, the
when you
franchise tag,
somebody.
that's right.
Yeah.
But isn't there that Gilbert Arenas rule in the NBA where you do they become like this mid-tier restricted free agent. So
there might be. I don't know the detail. That's like waters I don't fully know about. But also, like, you're at the tail end of this dynasty, and the league is really not about the Warriors anymore. Even though they played great last year, they had a great season last year. It's kind of like the last gasp of that team.
Yeah,
it's got to go in a new direction. As you look at teams like Oklahoma City. And you look at a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who just was named to the starting lineup of the Western Conference. And
All-Stars. As he should be.
All-Stars. And look, he was a Clipper for a long period of time, too young. You could see he was good, but I was like, where's this guy going? What's he doing? And the Clippers let him go. And now he finally got to the place. Tyrese Halliburton, to me, is the future of the league. He's fantastic.
Can't believe that we drafted James Wiseman with that. We had this second pick.
Yep.
And that's... it's just ridiculous. I mean, because Halliburton was in that draft.
Yeah,
right?
I know. And the thing is, but you couldn't have known. I mean, he Iowa State too.
Yeah, he was Iowa State.
So like
he was good. He was good.
He was good in college. He was a good player, but like dozens of other great players and good players in college don't make that. You have to have like crazy foresight that I think, look, you put it in the hands of the scouts to be like, what can you do and what are you seeing from this guy?
I don't even think they know. I think they guess, and if they get it right, they're called geniuses. If they get it wrong, they're like, what are you doing?
Well, we're going back to the drafting and the homespun,
building your team,
building your team.
Yes,
it is really difficult. I think when you're paying that quarterback all of that money, it can just all be undone. Right? Like all of your money goes into that. Then you don't have the opportunity to pay for players. And also, the thing about the 49ers, just to go back to the defense, if we don't lose those 3 games against Cleveland, Minnesota, and then Cincinnati.
In October.
Yes. We do not probably go out and get Chase Young.
Yeah.
So now we have Chase Young, who hasn't really kind of shown up as much as I'd like to.
But maybe he's eating up some double teams that allow other guys to.
And Eric Armstead is back, and that's another thing that you're going to look forward to.
You have the best 2 linebackers, period. Greenlaw and
Greenlaw's a maniac.
The other guy are like, they're just like, those guys rule the center of the field.
Have you seen Greenlaw try to, and there's a video of him he tries to suplex guys every single.
I mean, he's vicious and he hits with violence and
that's the thing. So Detroit is all buy-in, attitude, and less on talent. San Francisco has that same buy-in and attitude, and then they also have the talent on top. And that's why I think those two, when they meet up, you're going to have equal level of grit, equal level of toughness, equal level of aggression towards each other. One team has better players.
And I don't think that enough people are talking about what the 49ers have been able to weather as a successful team in that they have lost coordinator after coordinator.
I mean, that's what it is if you're
quarterback.
A good story.
Yeah, exactly. You look at the Eagles and what happened to them in that meltdown after losing an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. And now you look at the teams that are going to become popular. Did the guy from Tampa Bay just got hired to be in Carolina? He was their offensive coordinator. And then you're going to watch the Lions guys go. I'm sorry, you're losing Harbaugh to the Chargers.
I mean, listen, as Michigan fans, we're like, what can we do? He did what he said. He did what he said he was going to do. It took 9 years instead of the 7 we thought it was going to take. But whatever. There was a COVID year in there, so
I described Jim Harbaugh. I was trying to describe this to my friend, who's our Michigan buddy, who is a blogger. There's Seth. He's been on the show, Seth Fisher. I said it feels like Jim Harbaugh was our Uber driver, and he was drunk also. And we were like, we're taking all kinds of risks. He's all over the road. I don't know where we're going. Is he on the spectrum? I don't know. I hope we make it home. And he's like, I'll get you there. I will get you there. We take back streets, side streets. We think we're in the wrong neighborhood. We're not. We're going to go.
We're not going home.
It's taking 30 minutes longer than we thought it was going to, but he gets us home. He gets us home, and when he gets you home, you're getting out of the car. You're like, I'm sad. I'm not going to see you again. Yeah, that was fun.
I liked fun, and it was.
But you got to say goodbye.
And you say that was the best 3 hours of. I mean, look, these last 3 years of rooting for this team have been the best. You made 3 Big Ten championships, 3 times of beating Ohio State in a row. It's like you all of that. You beat Michigan State 2 years in a row. You win the Big Ten championship 3 years in a row. You make it to the playoffs, and then you win a championship. You beat Alabama. You knock Nick Saban out. I mean, it's just an unbelievable run that you say to yourself,
we'll dine on it. We'll feast on it for decades.
I do think Sharon Moore being named, because we're recording this a day after we recorded the other, or 2 days after. Sharon Moore will probably be named the Michigan coach moving forward, so that the continuity stays. I think you have another good year because they have a great defense. Depends who his other coordinators are. It's going to be fun for another year. And now with the sort of tournament expanding a little bit, the end of the year tournament, it's a shot you could get in, losing 2 games, be 10-2 with some tough losses and still make it in. So it's great, and I just feel like good luck in the NFL. And he is good. I mean, you remember him with the 49ers. He took all of Singletary's shitty players and turned them into a great team. They were like, what, 6-10?
Oh, yeah. Nobody's got a better than us towel.
Right. So they were 6-10, and then he turned them around to like 14-2.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that you see what he can do with other guys' players. Wait until he gets his people in there, and
and he's got Justin Herbert. I mean,
Justin Herbert's got a Bosa. You got a
Bosa and a Herbert.
A Bosa and a Herbert, and Eckler, I think, still has years left in him. I mean, I think it's like it's going to be interesting. They just don't have any fans down here, which is bizarre.
My point also is that just like a team and a franchise has to weather the storm in success of losing quality personnel and coordinators and being able to and Kyle Shanahan has been able to do that. He just really has. And
he's an interesting guy.
He really
is.
He's
like a wonderkin. He's kind of like a Sean McVay type dude, smart. He reminds me of like the coach in Miami, and he reminds me of the coach of the Packers. Like they're all these like young dudes.
Yeah, those are all like his coaching tree dudes.
Right.
Yeah. So and that's an interesting thing. I wonder if it were me, what I would do is if we were all coaching a team together. And so you guys, I have one Sklar, Jason is my defensive coordinator,
Yes,
I got
sir.
Randy as my offensive coordinator.
Hell of a staff.
Yes. And so we're killing it. You guys are about to go get hired on other jobs. And I would go to you and I go, okay.
Who's the next guy?
I would say this. I go, hey, listen, if we're not playing each other,
give me all the
why don't
info.
we share
I mean, I bet they do. It's against the law, but I bet they do.
Let's not do it against each other.
Text from your wife's phone.
Yeah.
So
you're getting like all these strategy texts from the guy's wife's phone.
Well, it's
from Diane Shanahan.
You can see, when the Browns come in and do well against us, and when Bengals
they know your plays.
Yes.
They know your plays.
No, well, I think...
Or they know what you're about.
Joe Burrow, if you go back and watch the Cleveland game that we lost to them, Joe Burrow had an amazing...
You mean the Cincinnati game?
Sorry.
Yes.
Cincinnati game. He had an incredible game.
He's an amazing quarterback. Again, I do think that but the Brock Purdy of it all makes me excited because to me, I feel like J.J. McCarthy, Michigan's quarterback, I would look at him and say, you can be Brock Purdy at this next level. You're that sort of a guy. You make plays with your feet. You know how to move around.
He's got 1 year left?
No, he's gone.
Done.
He's coming.
Do you think
out.
he will get drafted?
Yes. I think he gets drafted in either the late first round, early second round. I think he may go to Seattle. He could go to... trying to think where else he could go. He could go to Seattle. I mean, he could go to the Bears if the Bears trade Justin Fields, which I don't know if they're going to. But he's got some places where he could go and be good. I think he could look at Brock Purdy. This is what I would say to him. Look at what that kid did. Look at how he wins games because you're a winner like him. You make the plays when you have to. You don't. It's not all about cannoning it all over the place.
Sure.
You just got to make the right plays and get him to the right people. And because he'll be drafted late in the first round, he's going to a good team.
Let's do score predictions for this Detroit.
Predictions for the Detroit.
I'm going to say mine first.
Okay.
Yes. I predict 49ers 34, Lions 17.
Okay, so that gets your 16-point thing.
35-20.
Uh-huh.
I think... And I think it's 28-20, and the Lions have the ball driving, and I think it is not a comfortable, two-score victory. I think they get a turnover, they turn them over somehow, and then they go in and score an icing.
I think it's going to be a little closer. I have 49ers 27-17. It's a little bit of a lower scoring game. I think the defense in certain ways are going to show up, and I just think, you're going to see... I think 27-17. But I do think it's close into like the late third
Who wins
quarter.
on the other side, and who do you face in the Super Bowl, do you think?
I do believe that we're going to face the Ravens.
Baltimore beats
Baltimore is going to beat the Chiefs.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, the Chiefs' defense lost key players last week, and then they stepped up in a way that I was not expecting. I literally was like, "Oh, Buffalo's going to pick these guys
And
apart."
Mahomes, man. Mahomes just
You cannot. That dude
lose.
he's
incredible.
amazing.
Look, we're going to get a revenge game against either team.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
lost to both of those teams
That's
in
right.
these recent Super Bowls.
That's right.
And I would love to see Kyle Shanahan go in and just win a Super Bowl,
That'd be great.
convincingly, and just get that monkey off his back.
Can I say this without having a dog in the race? I know you want the 49ers, and I understand
yeah,
your
of
love for
course.
them. I like all four teams that are left in terms of what they bring to it. Kansas City is the one team I would say if they didn't make it in, I'd be that's my least favorite of the four teams that are in. The other three, any combination of the other three, and I'm like, I cannot wait for that Super Bowl.
If the Detroit Lions make it past the 49ers, and
Yeah.
the only way they're going to do that is if we
Some
errors,
turnovers or
weird
whatever.
turnovers
weird
and
mistakes.
PI with
Right.
a little help
Right.
from the referees.
Weird shit. That's
that
right.
we talked about
Right.
earlier.
Yeah.
I think these PI calls, bombs, and just moving a team like
Yeah.
80 yards down a field on one pass is
I mean,
ridiculous.
look, you can do that now. You can do that and say it's not college where it's 15 yards. They've
got to look at that. They've
have
got to look at that.
I think they might consider going back to just making it not spot fouls, but 15 yards.
15 yards.
To me, I think
It's-
15 yards changes the calculus of it. You might see more of it because they're like, look, I'm
guy
going to
beat me, I'm just
this
gonna
guy's beat.
pull him
I'm going to
down.
pull him down. It's only 15 yards. We live to fight another day. I don't know. Let's take a break, shall we?
Yes.
Take a break. We'll come back. Got some quick hits and then a fantastic video. Al Madrigal is with us. You can see him on Lopez versus Lopez.
Sure.
Watch and listen and support us on his network.
We
All
also
Things Comedy.
have Drugstore June, the All Things Comedy movie coming out.
I'm so excited for you on that, and that's
Yeah.
very, very cool. That's Esther Povitsky's movie and just
Correct,
great stuff, and lots of really good people in that. All right, we'll be right back with more View from the Cheap Seats right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Al Madrigal is with us. By the way, if you are in Denver, Colorado, we'll be there next week. Please get your tickets. The Comedy Works South, the Landmark Club, which is a big, beautiful theater of all things. We want to sell out those shows. We did fantastic the last time we were there, and I hope we just continue that trend because it's just a lovely comedy town. We got some new material we're going to be doing.
Yes.
We got posters we're going to sell. We got merch. It's going to be a blast. I do love
you
it.
guys do a limited edition poster?
Yes, we do. We got to show
So
him the
smart.
poster. It's good times, and then we'll sign
Just
it
for that Denver show.
Yeah, just for that Denver show.
Yeah, so you
Put
can
like
only-
40, 50 of them. And,
Sure, there's only going to be 50.
That's
Why
right.
you want one?
So,
Casa Bonita with the cliff diving.
Casa
Look at that.
Sklarita. There you go.
That's
You
a great
gotta love it.
poster.
It's unbelievable. See, there you go. All right, so that and then all the other dates on supersklars.com. Let's get into some quick hits, shall
I
we?
started doing stand-up again.
You did?
You did?
Yeah.
I love that.
Where are you?
I went out to the Ice House a couple of times.
Great.
The
I got a
best.
big date in Detroit on May
When?
11th.
May 11th? Nice.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I guess on some theater.
Good for
No,
you.
I'm like my
be
stand-up's
in-
like Amazon. Somebody hits buy it now. I'm going out there.
Go.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. Do
Amen.
it. I love it. All right, shall we get in this?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
let's do it.
Never let your food service people like in your organization try and get cute. So at the last in Buffalo, they were like, I guess they're like, we're going to win this game. So they let the food service people start naming some of the things Taylor Swift, because they knew she was going to be there. Karma quesadilla. That's what they, and first of all, it's not even good. They prepared to host Chiefs in the divisional round. It's just stupid. It's not yet known whether it wasn't at the time whether she would attend. Of
But
course
you
she's
knew
gonna attend.
she'd be there.
She's not going to go. She's in a box. If you've ever been in a box, you don't go out to the concession stand. Everything gets brought to you.
If you think you're putting one over on Taylor Swift at your concession stand in section 508, forget it.
Bad blood waffle fries. These are the things that they came up with. You can't do. How about a bad bloody Mary? There you go.
They renamed all their concessions for her.
Some for her to like because they were waiting for her.
But is
like,
that making fun of her
I
or
can't tell if
propping
it's-
up her work?
I don't know. It's such
Dumb.
a little like small town hillbilly mentality for those Buffalo.
How about
people, too.
Finding Love is Impossible burger? I would take that. You can do that, right? How about the chocolate Shake It Off? I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
more
yeah.
for you guys than you like. At least
Off the top of the dome, he's done better
Yeah.
than you, Buffalo
Better.
concessions.
the onion paper rings. I mean, come on, guys. Look what you made me brew. These are things that you guys could
could've
do.
done.
Yeah, they just don't call us.
Yeah.
Call
and
us.
pay us lots of money, and we will come up with these for
If you
you.
want catchy names for anything, hit up the Sklars. I think you guys could you'd be wonderful ad men. And if anyone in marketing or advertising is listening,
That's right.
for even a small business, I used to own the domain comediancommercials.com.
Brilliant.
I think you guys would be just incredible
Phenomenal,
ad guys.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's
If
just
you
do
own a
that.
small business and you need a commercial done, find the Sklars.
Find us.
We'll make it. We'll
All right,
make it. It
so-
won't be perfect, but it'll
No.
be the best thing you've ever seen.
So obviously,
we got?
not Packers fan at a Luke Bryan concert, a few rows back from the stage, watches the game instead of the concert. Instead of like taking in the performance, you know how you go to a concert now. I saw you at the Yacht Rock review, which was fantastic.
Correct.
People there, they're not so cell phone crazy because they're older folk who are at the Yacht Rock review. People are just enjoying the show. But now you go to a concert, literally you could be 3 rows away from it, and you're looking at the cell phone of the person. You know what I mean? It's like
I went to Kiss with my daughter at Madison Square Garden.
the last show of Kiss.
And we saw nothing. I was watching a lot of the concert through the person in front of me. So
right? And
Yeah.
it's like the guy's right there.
I don't understand.
So this person is watching, is a few rows back. And
but
they're-
like, when are you going to go back and look at all those videos?
It's a
When?
I've had the
On the
same
shitter?
thought at every single concert.
right?
Don't.
Who are you going to show this to that's going to be annoyed at the second one you show them? Let alone the 4,
It's-
5, and
it's-
6.
it's
Let me show you
horrible.
this one. No. So this guy's like watching the Packers game.
Yep.
At the Luke Bryan concert. It's like
What's Luke
just
do?
he didn't do anything, but like I'm
People
sure
around
everybody
him.
around him are like, bro, why are you even here?
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. Like, go somewhere else. Like, you're not enjoying the concert. The Packers are losing. You're not happy. It's a stupid thing to me. I'm like,
yeah, you came to the concert, DVR the game, don't check your...
Don't talk to anybody.
Be on
Shut off your
airplane
cell
mode,
phone.
airplane mode, shut it off, and then go
Or
home
put
and watch
AirPods
the show.
I got,
in.
I got these great little Beats headphones.
Yeah.
It's like a stethoscope.
yeah, put one in.
And I put one in, and no one knows what's going on.
They think that
and I
you're-
go YouTube TV, throw it in my pocket.
That's right.
And
like
I'm listening.
And people think you're on a business call.
And they-
if anyone who you don't want to approach you, you just put up a one finger.
Give me one. Give me one.
And
I'm
then
good.
they think you're on a business call.
Pop it out.
Then you got to put it back
Can I
in.
help you?
Soccer legend Pele's body must be exhumed.
Why?
To prove whether or not he is the father of the woman who claims to be his love child after a DNA test found high possibility of a blood link.
Was this on Maury?
Pele,
you are not the father. El Padre.
El Padre. I agree. That's Spanish and he's Portuguese. All right.
They couldn't find any other means of collecting some DNA from
So
Pele.
he agreed to a DNA test before his death in 2022, which that tells you how much he was banging outside the family.
Yeah.
He's like,
guy was-
before I die, I'm going to do this in case anyone has a claim to my. So what happened is he's got like 9 kids and he
was scoring a lot of free kicks.
he was scoring on a lot of free kicks. So he died at 82. I'm trying to figure out what his estate is worth. 78 million pounds. So much money, like almost
money.
100 million pounds.
Yeah.
$100 million. And that was to get divided up equally amongst his kids. Now, she is saying, Maria de Socorro Azevedo, she said, she could be recognized as the 8th child, which means they would have to then redistribute the money.
They already distributed
I'm
it.
sure they already distributed it. That
So if
money's
it's,
gone.
if it's 7, then it's like 11 million pounds each. If it's 8, then it's...
you gave 9. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know they spent that. Like those kids were like waiting for him
Yeah,
to die.
sure.
Like I didn't get him as a dad. Now I want
I
to get
just
them.
bought an 11 million pound house.
I bought 3 yachts.
This
Ian
woman
Latrell
can't show up. She can't show up. It doesn't work.
So
about that. So the money.
you're getting
excuse me. I know you got to divide it, cut it up another way.
9.5.
But I mean, her lawyer is demanding that the body get exhumed, which to me is like,
leave him in the ground.
that's why you cremate him. That's why you get. If you're Pele and you knew you were having a lot of extra money, you get cremated.
Cremated.
It makes no difference. You're getting it cremated. Get cremated. So they can't do
Sprinkle
that.
him all over Maradona's lawn.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
That guy's not feeling well. Did Maradona die?
He'd probably snort
I
him
think
up.
he did die. I think he did die at some
He would
point.
have snorted him up, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sure.
Done a couple lines
I
of Pele.
have not done the test, but like knowing Pele was Pele, who he was, anybody who's like, I'm Pele's kid.
And are we saying it wrong? Is it Pele?
Pele.
Do they bring
Pele.
out the kid and it's like that Arnold Schwarzenegger maid child?
It
that
looks exactly like him.
Oh, I don't
She
see
does.
this one.
She does look a lot like him. She definitely looks a lot like she's got his face. She's got definitely like his facial features. But I mean, if anybody walks up and is like, I'm Pele's kid, I'd be like, yeah, you probably are. We do not need a test.
What, you just have
Start
a soccer ball and you just go like this?
Yeah.
You are, huh?
Let's see what you can do.
Bicycle
Handle
kick
that.
this into that trash can.
See if you can juggle.
We'll go from there.
Let's see if you can juggle to see if your mom juggled these nuts in his mouth.
Hey,
All right,
come
so
on.
here we go. All right, so that's it. That's that. We
I
have a
love it.
Patreon video. Patreon fans, if you want to join us, we have you just join us. We got a video. We're going to break it down with Al Madrigal.
Patreon.com/Sklar Brothers. We are doing cheap seats, new cheap seats episodes.
Guess what? We got a
cheaper seats.
voicemail from Dennis Farina from The Great Beyond. He left us a voicemail.
Dennis
from
Farina left us a
The Great
voicemail. Our
Beyond.
buddy from Law and Order.
Yeah, he's
threw me up against the
You're
hood
not
of a
going to
car.
like it. He's definitely predicting the Alliance win. He's from The Great Beyond. From The Great Beyond. Sklar Brothers.
Dennis Farina.
Dennis Farina,
I gotta hear it
Sklar
playback.
Brothers.
Go to that place for Ghazi's.
Hey,
in St. Louis.
Sclarzels.
Hey, Sclarzels.
Sclarzels. You got
Hey, how
from
you
the
doing?
Great Beyond. All right. Anyway, we'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll listen to that voicemail. Patreon fans, join us. Al Madrigal, thank you. We love you. We'll be right back.
Go Niners.
Hey, Sclarzos. It's your old pal, Dennis Farina. I'm colder than Tom Brady and Giselle Bundchen's bed sheets. But don't you be thinking I'm just up here sitting on clouds, eating sausages and smoking stoves. Well, I am, but I'm doing other stuff too. God owes me a favor, see? And guess what? I'm using it to get the Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you heard me. The Lions. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. Those guys have had it rougher than Andy Dick's end zone. So I thought I'd give them a break. The Lions, not Andy Dick's end zone. So, put it all on the Lions. I just did you a favor. Now, how about you do a favor for your old pal Farina? I need you to go beat up the manager of Amici. I can't tell you why, but let's just say in 1998 that snooty son of a bitch wouldn't seat me for 50 minutes. Now, don't do nothing crazy. Just a little Farina-style payback. Break his legs and arms. I gotta go. Matthew Perry just got here and our tea time is about to start. Farina, out.
There you go. That's
There it
the
is.
show. Hey, next week, guess where we're going to be? In Denver, Colorado. You guys are coming to the shows. South Club, Landmark, Comedy Works. It is really one of our favorite places to perform. It's like a little mini theater. Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Let's sell these damn shows out.
Let's
We
go.
know Denver can represent. So we'll see you there, supersklars.com for the tickets. And then also, we mentioned, or I don't know if we mentioned earlier, but we're going to be in Salt Lake City at the Jordan Landing Wise Guys happening in the middle of May 17th and 18th.
Salt Lake, we haven't been there for a while. Come see us.
Love to see you. Supersklars.com. And you can always catch us in Minneapolis in April, in Detroit in March, and then at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival at the end of April. We love you guys. Punch a Waterfall. Enjoy the games. We'll see you next week.